Hello and welcome to your astrological forecast for May 2023. If you like the current video, press the like button and please become a subscriber. So the first thing I should probably say is happy Beltane. We officially celebrate Beltane on the 1st of May, and I'm recording this on the eve of the 1st of May. But actually, the proper point of celebrating Beltane is when the sun is at 15 degrees in Taurus at the midway point, and that's on the 5th of May this year. So you've got two possible Beltanes to celebrate. Now, which is why I'm out in the open to record this video today. Okay. So let's look at the main features. This is a big month, May. A lot of significant astrological changes that are going to take place that are going to bring some new attitudes, new cycles that are going to have a very powerful effect. On the 1st of May, the first thing that happens is the planet Pluto, which has been in Aquarius since late March, starts to move retrograde. So it's moving slowly. It will move back into around about June 11th into Capricorn, where it will remain there for the rest of the year. But it's always interesting, retrograde motions, as to how they start to manifest. So a few things that have come up over the last 6 weeks, perhaps there'll be changes for those sort of things. But particularly I'm looking at social media at the moment, and some of the influences, some of the structures that are coming into that, I think will change quite a bit. The next big day is the 5th of May, and there's a reason for that. As I say, it's there's the astrological point of Beltane, but more importantly, we have a lunar eclipse, which is going to be at 14 degrees in Taurus. It's hitting that Beltane point, and that's around about 1834 GMT time that happens. So if you've got planets around about the middle of Taurus, Scorpio, Leo or Aquarius, then you're going to be hit by this energy a lot. It's a polarity point where, of course, we've got Scorpio and we've got Taurus. So cycles coming to an end and new beginnings as well. And as I always say, eclipses have a 6-month basis. So this will run until late October for many of you that have planets, the sun or the moon, around about 14, 15, 16 degrees, particularly in Scorpio or Taurus, is going to be hit by this particularly powerful energy and lunar eclipse. It's in fixed sign, so it's not going to change drastically in terms of the world stage, but from an emotional point of view, there is a lot of changes, and there will be that build up before it happens that is going to take place. It's quite a time, the whole May experience, for a lot of people, but there's two other sort of big movements that take place as I speak, and as we go into the period of May. We've had a Mercury retrograde in Taurus that's been causing all problems for a lot of people, particularly against Scorpios, Taurians, Leos, Aquarians. On the 15th of May, Mercury goes direct, which should be really good, particularly if you're in a Mercury profected year. Then things to start moving forward for a lot of you. It's also a time when communication gets a little bit more direct from the murky aspects that it has been, so that'll help. And then on the 16th, Jupiter, for the first time in 12 years, enters into Taurus, where it will remain for nearly a 12-month period. Now, this is significant. Again, we're focusing on the Taurus energy, Taurus and Scorpio particularly, and these two signs have been hit an awful lot during this time. But, you know, Jupiter in Taurus is a fixed sign. Jupiter is naturally rules the two mutable signs of Sagittarius, and in modern astrology, in traditional astrology, of course, Pisces. Now, those are both mutable signs. So Jupiter as an energy likes to move around. It likes to create a vision, and it likes to move it along quickly. Now, in Taurus, Taurus is a fixed earth sign, so we cannot do that. Doesn't mean it's detrimental or it's not going to work. It just means that it's slower paced. But some of the aspects of the Taurus rules under, like banking, finances, clothes, any economics, just generally possessions and self-value are going to be expanded here. So we've sort of been, certainly in the West, we've gone through a little bit of a tricky economic time. Jupiter will bring in a period of stability over the next 12 months, particularly in regard maybe to housing and stuff like that, and banking systems in general. However, what happens is that as soon as Jupiter enters into Taurus, which is about 1820 GMT time, it's going to have a square aspect with Pluto in Aquarius. So square aspects, 90-degree angles the two planets are at. This is really strong. It's in fixed signs, so there is a conflict between the two planets in the sky. Jupiter wants expansiveness, wants to create. Pluto, on the other hand, is wanted to get to the depths of things and unearth and find where the power is. So when Jupiter and Pluto square, typically it is quite a volcanic time, energetically, politically, economically. And that will run right through, of course, until the period of around about June 11th, when Pluto will go back into Capricorn. So the first kind of few weeks of Jupiter being in Taurus is a bit volcanic because of that Pluto aspect that's going on, and really kind of challenging in a way, particularly again with the economics. So although the long term is quite stable, we've got to get through that June period where everything could seem a bit up in the air again. Economics going up and down, that kind of crazy kind of energy that's going on, or things being unearthed in what we call the underworld, significantly comes in. And then we got a new moon on the 19th in Taurus. That's about 28 degrees, just before 5 o'clock in the afternoon GMT time. Again, emphasizing that Taurian energy that's so strong at the moment. And it is very, very strong. We've had a lot of Taurus influence actually in April, particularly with Mercury. We had a bit of Venus in there. But, yeah, it's a very, very Taurus kind of month. As you'd expect, the sun's in Taurus until the 21st, when it will go into Gemini, which should sort of liven things up. So we've got Pluto retrograde, we've got Mercury retrograde up until the 15th. The rest of the planets are kind of moving forward. Saturn is hurtling through Pisces. We've got Mars in Cancer until the 21st, and then it will move into Leo. And actually, Mars is far happier in Leo than it has in Cancer. So that kind of assertiveness and directness and getting things done suddenly comes into its own. Suddenly, Mars can function, and that hasn't happened for a while actually. So there is I use the word volcanic and not on the literal meaning. I just means that it's kind of like metaphorical earthquake seemingly happening, from an individual basis, from a collective basis. Some of these will be based in reality, in terms of they will manifest in something bigger. Some of them will just be kind of rumbles that we need to be aware of and just take stock of. So it's a very interesting period in time here. But that Jupiter squaring Pluto, that doesn't happen often, so it really is a deeply purifying, cleansing aspect to it, but also unearthing things that perhaps as a society we don't really want to necessarily see. So I think if you're a Taurus, if you're a Scorpio, this is a big month for you. Or you've got those two signs of zodiac strongly in your natal chart. I think Leos will also be hit by it, but in much more of a positive way. as well as that, I think Aquarians are sort of being slightly left alone now. They've had a very challenging couple of years, but apart from the Pluto factor and going retrograde, they haven't really felt it unless you've got, like, you know, your sun at 0 degrees Aquarius or 1 degrees Aquarius, or the moon there. Uranus is, and I should mention this, of course, Uranus is also in Taurus, still in Taurus. And what that's doing on that lunar eclipse, going back to that on the 5th of May, that's making a conjunction with Uranus. So that's a little bit chaotic as well. So there's a lot of the Taurian aspects here. And one of the aspects of Taurus is the ability to let go. You know, I believe Siddhartha the Buddha was a Taurus, and he found enlightenment in the full moon in the month of May. So there's that journey of the Taurus to acquire and then to let go is quite relevant in this time, particularly with the Uranus factor here. It just means there's a new start for Taurians and for Scorpios as well, because there's the polarity point. Don't forget, the lunar eclipse is to do with Scorpio as much as Taurus. Okay, so it's a lot kind of going on, and it's a big month. It's one of the biggest months, I think, in the year to look out for, where things happen quite quickly and then slightly calm down, and as we go into June, things might get a little bit easier, but just watch out for that middle part with the Jupiter squaring from the 16th Pluto, because something's going to happen. It's quite big around that time, that surprises quite a lot of us. But listen, thanks very much for watching. If you like the video, press the like button and become a subscriber to the channel. It all helps spread the word of astrology. But thank you for watching.